Welcome in to Two Daves and a Mic, the split off podcast, Shelby High Golden Lions football. I'm David Allen, DA, along with David Allen, D Ray, and our regular pod cohort is Juice Jakari Shell. And then joining us tonight via the computer is our buddy Big Webb, Adam Weber, classically known for beating Kings Mountain by himself. Oh my goodness. But hey, listen, I bury the lead every week, y'all. I am not burying the lead tonight. The Golden Lions are 3A state champions, and boys, they won it 84-41. Wow, what a ball game.
Insanity. I think that's might be the best offensive masterclass I've seen in the first half of all my life. Like just going back and forth, just the excitement I had just watching that, and like being an offensive guy, I really love seeing that. But I don't know about Webb. Probably itched his skin a lot being a defensive coordinator, seeing so many people wide open, you couldn't touch. He man Lorenzo with a 10-foot pole at times. That's how open they were, and it's insane. But I mean, Emory was dialing them up, and I mean, defense played really great in the second half, shut them out. But I'm just really glad to see this team end up with another state championship. And Coach Woodbanks, man, I love Coach Woodbanks, and I'm so glad to see him get his third.
No question about it. Big Webb, jump in there. By the way, Big Webb, former coach on the Golden Lions staff, now at Independence High School. Big Webb, what's your role there at Independence now?
I'm defensive coordinator.
There you go. DC at Independence, the Big I. Tell us about what you would have. Just tell me what you would have done in that game, Big Webb. You can pick anybody you want to be the defensive coordinator for in that game.
Magnola.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, like Juice said, you all said, man, shout out to Coach Wilbanks and the staff and the team at Shelby High, man. Like, I don't think I've seen an offense put up numbers like that in real time, like ever, no matter what level of football I've seen, man. And I think when you look at it from a defensive coordinator perspective, like I think two teams had two different problems. I think Shelby problem was with the touchdowns early. They were just smaller. I think with Kinston's defense, kids were just running wide open. So I think it was a difference where with our guys at Shelby, we knew at some point, okay, all we got to do is tackle in space and just eventually get pressure on the quarterback and make some plays. Where with Kinston, it just seemed like no matter what they drew up, nothing was working. And I think that the offense only stopped for Shelby because literally they called the dogs off at the end and the clock was running and they just started subbing guys in and out. But I mean, I think when you play in the Shelby team, I think in the past, anybody who's had success against the offense defensively, they kind of had a lot of guys out there on defense to be able to play like man to man and just sit back and see and let you make mistakes. But I think with Kinston's case, I don't think they've seen a team like Shelby before. So I think they was clueless. I think they was like, okay, well, I honestly think the first drive of offense with Kinston gave them more hope that they actually had a chance to beat them because how well they was able to put together that first drive. They was like, well, okay, on defense now we got confidence, we got a little swag. It's like, oh, we can just play man to man because we think our guys are better. And turns out you're nowhere close to the guys that Shelby had.
Not at all.
So I just think with their DC, I think he was confused. I don't know what they worked on because at some point I would have just said, well, let's make this freshman running back see if he can run for 200 or 300 yards on us.
Yeah.
Versus saying you got experienced quarterback with Land, you got playmakers out there with Kendrick Raper, Man, Lorenzo Roseborough, Calvin Ramsey. Like you got all these you got all these weapons, and these are juniors and seniors. I would have said, well, I know Land's good. He's thrown for coming into the year pretty much 10,000 yards coming into the state game. I don't want him to get hot, and I think as soon as they kicked the ball off, it was nothing that DC can do. So,
D-Ray, Lamb Farmer's been on a roll. I mean, there's no question his playoffs have been unbelievable. But today, I mean, obviously just blew everything to this point out of the water.
459 and eight touchdowns. Yeah, when you put up 84 against a team, you're used to them not having field goal posts that are big enough for you to kick footballs across like at Highland Tech. Not in the state championship game, What Land was doing that was so remarkable to me is I kept thinking he was missing his first read. He would hold on to the football, and then all of a sudden he'd let one go 50 yards downfield and hit a dude streaking in the end zone, butt naked open. And I was thinking, nah, dude, you had somebody across the middle. It's like, oh no, David Ray sitting in the stands. It's because Roseborough's running the post and he's wide open in the end zone, and it kept happening over and over again. And the thing that's so interesting is I was worried in the first half about Shelby defensively because I was thinking you're going to have to do something other than play man-to-man and have a little safety help on Copper because this dude, it doesn't matter if you throw him a bubble screen, an out route, whatever, he was taking it to the house. And it turns out that the bigger defensive issues were on the other side because they had no answer for the passing attack. And I don't know what Coach Blue Emery is doing right now, but I hope he is enjoying himself and I hope he sleeps good tonight because that's about as good. I mean, I would imagine that when Coach Emery woke up this morning, he did not think, I hope we put up 80 on this team. I mean, he might have hoped that, but I don't think that was in his range of outcomes that he was thinking.
My favorite tweet of the evening was Coach Emery had a video of him changing his Twitter handle or his X handle from 8-time champion coach, state champion coach to 9-time champion coach.
That'll do it.
I mean, Shelby only had one punt this game.
It was a good one too, by the way.
For 43 yards. One punt for 43 yards. And I think another thing that I really was impressed with Land with is his decision making. Another game with 0 turnovers. I think early in the season, that's what he kind of struggled with was turning the ball over, whether it's fumbles or just he thought he had something and trying to be hero and trying to make the big play. And later on in the season, that's when he kind of grew when he got in conference play and he's playing these games against Highland Tech and Bessemer City. Those tune-up games just kind of helping him grow as a player and just helping him. Okay, if obviously man is 10 times better than Bessemer City's defensive backs. So hey, let's go deep with this and let's try to gain a connection and a chemistry. And that kind of went with them throughout the whole playoff. And you rarely saw Land turn the ball over. And not only that, I'm more impressed with his legs. And he barely ran today, really. But besides him not running, I love his pocket awareness and him being a backfield creator. Even though at times that they thought they sacked him, he stiffed on one dude and got the ball off. Or it was like 1 4th down pass to Kendrick to where they thought they had him sacked. And the dude had one arm and he just threw it to Kendrick. And I'm like, okay, this dude is on rhythm shooters, like what Curry was on, like you felt that with Land. Like he was feeling it tonight, man. And that's what you gotta need, what you need out of a veteran quarterback in a game like that, and landing out all on the line. And you saw that on that 4th down play where he jumped over someone and got the first down at 4th and 1. Like you knew what type of timing he was on immediately throughout the first drive. And Blue was dialing him up, ran a scissors concept, and Lorenzo was wide open on that post route, the first touchdown. And I love what I see out of Shelby today. And, man, I'm so proud of what I saw the whole entire playoff.
Yeah, Lorenzo, he got hurt on the first play against Eastern Randolph, really, first series, and didn't play that whole rest of that game. And was limited last week against Lincoln in the 30-0 Western Finals game. Today, what was that, about 160 and 4?
4 catches, 147 yards, all 4 for touchdowns. My favorite stat is 6 yards after the catch on that 147. So he caught 4 balls basically in the end zone.
Yeah, and I think what's special about Lorenzo,
4 catches.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I think what's special about Lorenzo, I think he's only been playing football for 2 years. And I think that was funny that the wide receiver coach being his uncle, we all was begging him since he came to high school, was like, kid, you should play football. And he was like, I want to focus on grades. I just want to play basketball. And it turns out, it's just special to let you know how special the athletes are at Shelby, where any game, any moment, somebody can, you don't know who to guard. I'm willing to bet a lot of these teams was like, oh, I don't know who to man up, or I don't know who to double team because, like they said, you have a kid like Lorenzo who was kind of been limited the last 2 weeks, and he's exploded for 4 touchdowns in the state championship game. That's just a credit to all the work the kids put in. But just let you know how Coach Emery does a great job of being able to manage his weapons because I believe that
Yep.
one thing about Shelby High football, you always gonna have 2, 3, 4 guys who can hurt you in multiple ways. And I think that when Coach Emery having all the guys on the field at the same time, even with Kendrick taking a bigger role on offense, kind of the last few weeks, like it was just amazing to see, just like how the offense was just how the offense just exploded. Because a lot of times you see Land back there, right? As a defensive guy, I'm like, Land is too comfortable. As a fan, I'm like, he can run the whole clock down before he throws the ball he wants to. Like he was back there, it literally looked like the offensive line did a tremendous job, man. It just seemed
Mm-hmm.
like Land. It seemed like Land was in practice. It literally
Yes.
seemed like he was in practice going against the JV team, and Coach Jamie like, "Hey, let's run this play, let it develop." Because like normally as a defensive guy, I always
Scout
tell my
team.
yeah, I feel like he was going to scout. Like I always hit a defensive line. Yeah, you may have some good corners, but you can't let your corner cover for 5 to 6 seconds. And it just seemed
Mm-hmm.
like every touchdown pass, it was like Land took his time, and it was like guys were just running wide open after 4 or 5 seconds, and I was like, man, like that was just a beautiful, like that was just a beautiful game all around offensively.
Yeah, Adam, I just want to say I said to someone, it was like 21-14, I said, you don't want to play 7v7 against Shelby. Like you don't want that is not something that you want to do. And that's what it felt like. And Danny Morgan walked by us and he said, make sure you shout out the offensive line because of how well they're playing. And I said, will do, because I mean, that was the biggest thing I noticed from the Shelby Crest game at the beginning of the season to today's game is in the Shelby Crest game, it felt like Lamb was fighting for his life. And it wasn't always because of the O-line. I mean, the Crest front seven, I'm sure, is stout. But tonight, like you said, Land, he could have baked some cookies in the backfield. That's how much time he had.
Yeah, and that's a credit to Coach Dunaway as well, right? I think with Coach Dunaway, I think he kind of flies under the radar as a coach because he's not really on social media or anything like that.
He's
But
not much
I think,
vocal. Yeah.
yeah, he's not really vocal unless you go around the offensive line. But I think he does a great job every single year of if you always had to look at a group from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, especially the years we win the state championship, the offensive line always improves over time throughout the course of the games. And no matter what part of the year, no matter ever since he's been there in 2013, I remember he came in my senior year. Like every group of offensive linemen, like if you look at it, the first 2 games, you'd be like, man, there's no way we're gonna win. Then you look up, we're in December playing for state championships, and you're like, man, the offensive line plays great. So yeah, like shout out to all those guys. I know they do a lot of dirty work. They never really get their name called, only if they get in a penalty. So like I think that's what made it easier, man. It'd have been a sight to see if we was wearing white jerseys just to see what Land jersey looked like after the game.
Well, they were on turf, so it would have still been clean. But I will say to D Ray's point earlier, he was the only time he got pressure was because he was waiting to see if he could get somebody open 50 yards down the field instead of taking that 15-yard curl or slant route or whatever, because he just had so much time. It was just unbelievable. He was a couple of times just standing flat footed.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you see quarterbacks kind of bouncing on the balls of their feet, stand up on their toes and that kind of thing. And there were a couple of times that he just had so much time that he just stood there flat footed in the backfield, and that's just kind of unheard of. So again, like you said, shout out to the offensive line. Big Webb, what did we do defensively different in the second half that allowed us to shut them out in the second half, as far as you could tell?
From coaching in the game similar to this, right? I remember Coach Wilbanks' first year, or not his first year he took over, but the second state championship we played in. We kind of had the same thing against Wallace Rose Hill, where we came out and it was like a shootout in the first half. And at halftime, I just think Coach Wilbanks probably went in and just held the guys accountable like he always does. Held them accountable until the defense was like, hey, like from being around this coaching staff, I knew Coach Emery probably knew he could score points like D-Ray said. Now, I don't know if he woke up this morning and said the magic number is going to be 84, but I knew he could score points. And I knew that probably going in. I think defensively, I think the guys in the secondary just had better eyes. I think they did a good job of putting them in passing situations. And as a defensive guy, if my secondary know the pass is coming, I can be a little bit more aggressive. I can be smarter at times because they have no other option but to throw the ball. I think they did a good job of making Kinston left-handed. making them throw the ball. And I think the guys just started making plays. They was able to get pressure on the quarterback. The quarterback was just really a lot of his timing stuff was off. Now, granted, the Cooper kid still made plays. Copper kid still made plays, but they wasn't explosive plays. And I think Shelby did a good job of just taking away the explosive plays because you see it like Kinston never really drove the ball down the field outside of that first drive. Everything was set up off explosive plays, and I think that they just held the guys accountable. And I think with that back end, it's a sight to see with the secondary with the guys they started outside of the Williams kid. I think those guys are only like 5'6", 5'7", and they're going
Yeah.
against 6'2" and 6'5". So that's just a testament to the coaching, and them kids are just saying, "Hey, we know the jump ball's coming at some point. The deep routes are coming. Let's do our job, play our keys." And also, it's good up front with Noah Gardner and Tyson Williams just getting pressure, and with Grady Nodine and Landon Hollifield just being able to step up and take care of the quarterback and do other things. I just think that's what it was second half. I don't think they made any big adjustments. I just think they had to just lock in and focus more. Because sometimes with coaching kids, like either the first quarter or first half in a lot of games, it's a lot of emotion going on. So I'm starting to do a little bit of things that's uncharacteristic than what I normally do. And I think they just came in second half like, look, we know we can stop them. We know we can beat them, but it's going to be on our shoulders. And I think that's just what happened in the second half.
Jump in there,
Yeah.
D-Ray.
Jakari, I got a question for you, which was, see, I mean, Adam, to your point, Copper and Chambers 6'2" and 6'5", and we had Corey guarding the man-to-man at 5'9". The backup quarterback came in after an injury, and he threw up a jump ball for a touchdown. And I'll tell you what, all my friends in the stands were saying were just like, why are they not throwing the ball to two jump ball 60% of the time? Like they were using him as a decoy sometimes. They would like he was visibly upset after not getting the ball a few times. And I'm like, as a Shelby fan, it's kind of like sometimes I think a good rule in sports is you should probably do what the opposing team doesn't want you to do. You know what I mean? And as a Shelby fan, I was thinking, please don't throw it to number two. I'm not sure what happened there with Copper.
I just think it was like a mistimed jump from Corey because, I mean, you saw he jumped like a split second early, and that's when Copper just rolls up. And I've never seen that many spectacular catches in one game like I've seen before, and it was insane. But, Webb, I want to go to your point about what you were saying in the back end about the guys being like 5'7", 5'6". Derek Key, if he was like 5'11", I think FCS team Division I would be calling this guy because the way he sits in the free safety and be able to run fit and make hits being that small. And he had a huge fourth down stop early in the game.
Early in the game.
The guy looked like he was going to get the first, and he made a great angle on him and cut him off and made him short. And that's the thing. And another thing I love seeing in this defense, they was creating turnovers. Julius Brooks got him a turnover, a pick that set the crowd on fire. That's when you kind of knew, like, I mean, it was being getting out of hand, but you kind of like felt it. And then I think that's when Williams got a pick. And then Kendrick got another pick. And then these guys
also,
were just feeling themselves and creating turnovers. And that's what made this thing 10 times better on defense in the second half.
And then just a credit to how the night was going, my guy Boone Weiss gets in the game and get a strip fumble. So you just looking at it like it just felt like no matter what Shelby did defensively in that second half, it didn't matter. Everything worked. And it's like from a defensive guy, right? Okay, I'm sure the Kinston coach was like, okay, Shelby hasn't shown a 3-man front all year as far as like a base defense, right? I would think at halftime, I'm saying, okay, what ways can I kind of force them to get back in what they originally do? I think the biggest thing that hurts 3-man fronts, and you've seen that kind of with TCU in the college playoff, if Kinston just would have put maybe a tight end in the game, and then it kind of forces them to Shelby to change their coverage, I think you would have opened up more jump balls on the outside because you're kind of going to be forced to respect the tight end coming down there. But it just seemed like the coaches at Kinston was just like, at some point, what we do is going to keep working. And unfortunately for them, it didn't work in the second half. But I just thought they was going to make some type of halftime adjustment because I think it's tough, too, because I'm scoring 41 in the first half, so what adjustment do I really need to make? But I really thought they was going to make some type of adjustment to just force Shelby to get out of doing what they do.
Webb, I got a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Webb, I got a question. If you gave up 84 points as a DC, what is on your mind tonight as you go to sleep? Like,
I mean,
do you think you're going to be able to recover from it like
I
anytime
don't.
soon?
I think
See
if
if
you
there's
give
a
up,
DC position at the middle school I can take for next year.
yeah, hey, are you talking
Do you
about
take a year off
Independence?
to recover?
If I'm at Independence, I think maybe at Shelby it'd be a little harder on me for sure. I think at Independence, I don't think I would be able to finish calling the game to even let them reach to get to 84 points. I don't. I think my job would have been. I think my job would have been. I think I would have been fired at halftime at Independence. At Shelby, man, it'd have been one of those where I probably would have to ride back home with my parents and like wait till everybody leave the locker room so I can just go ahead and like clean the locker out and
They
like
slip out the back. Ain't nobody
be the
running
first
back
one
no
at
more.
church on Sunday and just like and just ask for some type of forgiveness. I mean that I think that's crazy to give up 84. Like to give up 84 points in a high school game. This is the thing. Your offense scored 40 and you lost by 40. That's unheard
It's
of.
crazy when you hear it.
Think about that.
Like
You scored 40 points and lost by 40
yeah.
in the football. We're not talking about basketball where that's kind of typical. In a football game, you scored 41 points and you lost by 40 points. I've never seen nothing like that day in my life.
Never.
Hey, while we're on here, let me just say I'm here in the post game. Don't know the final score. Crest was up 31-14 the last I looked, but I hear them talking to Coach Lloyd. So Crest is also bringing home a state championship, which is very, again, reminiscent of 2015. So if you'll remember back, we mentioned it last week, Shelby beat Lincoln in the Western Finals, beat Kinston in the state championship, and it was also the year that Crest also won a state championship. So very, very similar to 2015 this year. Obviously, I saw some tweets and some comments on Facebook from some of the old heads that played for Shelby back when Coach Taylor or Coach Norman was coaching. And, I know it's a different style of football, but I mean, I texted one of my buddies who was the quarterback in 84, 85, and he said Land threw more touchdowns in the game today than he threw in 2 years as quarterback for Shelby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a completely different game. And I understand people having heartburn with our defense giving up 41 points in that game. But, I mean, to Adam's point, you gave up 41 and you still beat them by 43. I think we're okay.
Wait, so is the gist that like there are people who are complaining, basically saying like, great win, but also like this doesn't resemble the football
where's
that I
the
played.
defense?
Yeah.
Kind of
All right.
I mean, I look at it too from it's a state championship game. So we don't really got tomorrow. Now, if this was, I think this score would be more alarming if it was like week 1, week 2, or the last game of the season. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, guys, we got to fix this. They ain't gonna fix this issue until the spring. So I'm okay if I would look at like I'm sure Will was like, whew, like yeah, we gave up a lot, but guys, we scored a lot. And he's probably like, Coach, and think about it, and shout out to Coach Barkley, right? First year defensive coordinator. Same thing beginning of the year, right? People kind of question was the move right because it's a new guy. Like we start at 0-2, so obviously whoever the new guy on staff is, they're gonna kind of get a little bit of the blame when you start losing, right? Just kind of how things work in the coaching world. But Coach Barkley, he had a goal from the beginning of the year when he got the job, and I think just a credit to his hard work. That team, I think that defense resembles a lot of things that Coach Barkley resembles as a coach and as a man, right? Very resilient, very tough. You're gonna have to, if you're gonna beat him, you're gonna have to take it from him, right? He's not gonna give you anything.
Yeah.
Very gritty defense. And I think that obviously, even watching the game, I'm like, dang, we get up a lot of points, man. But I always knew at some point that the defense was gonna get stops. And obviously, the first half, you gotta look at it, right? First half, you gave up 41. But nobody wants to talk about it in the second half. You gave up nothing.
Yeah, and nothing against Lincoln either. Let's not forget
Same
that.
thing
So
against
I mean,
Lincoln,
I'm just saying.
So
And it wasn't, and they had,
you know,
two studs on the other side of the field, as well. So I mean, I understand the complaints, but also,
well, yeah,
can't
like
be too
understand
mad.
like the difference in the two, right? Nobody was running wide open. Only time the kid really ran wide open on the defense was maybe on the screen pass, but people missed tackles. He weaved through traffic. The touchdowns that them kids caught, They was
It's
double
contested,
covered
bro.
jump balls. It wasn't like the
Literally.
opposite defense you're watching where you got man running a route. After 3 seconds, he like he's on air on bucket drills like a normal Tuesday at practice.
It's literally routes on air. That's literally how these receivers felt.
Yeah. So I
Literally.
think the Shelby defense was fine. I mean, I probably would have did what your friend said too, D-Ray. I just would have been throwing jump balls all day. And to be like, okay, I'm going to throw one to the left, one to the right. Whoever caught it, I'm going back to you on third down. Like, I'm just going to keep doing it.
6'5" receiver that's committed to Marshall who made a spectacular catch. Like one of the, I forgot what quarter it was, but he like went through two dudes and I'm like, bro, like it's nothing we could do. Then he caught almost a 96-yard post route.
Yeah.
Is at one point in time, it's just like we just got outman, we just got out athlete.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
As a coordinator, you're okay with saying, okay, they throw it up, and I'm willing to bet every coordinator would take their last dollar and say, hey, you're gonna have to beat me catching the pass over two players every time. Like,
speaking of the two studs for them, one of the things that I'd never seen before until today, and not only did I see it with them, the two of them, but I've seen it now in the Crest game as well. But the kid that's going to state had a big Wolfpack sticker on the back of his helmet. The kid that was going to Marshall had a big Marshall sticker on the back of his helmet. And then I saw the same thing with the Parker kid from Crest that's going to state, had an NC State emblem on the back of his helmet. I mean, obviously it's not illegal because they would have made him take them off. But I mean, what the heck? I don't like that. I think
it's a new trend because like the Eli Hammer kid, I think he got the UVA sticker on the back of his head. I know like the cornerback that plays for Huff, he had like a Texas logo. Like I think it's like something new. It's something new. Yeah. Next thing you know, I think all 7-on-7 this summer, you're gonna see kids out there in quarter zips too.
Yeah, get off my lawn. I don't like
that. Dad, can I ask you a question as the
absolutely
as the elder statesman on the pod? You've seen a lot of Shelby High State championships at this point. I'm not going to ask you to rank this team by any means, but I don't know. I'm kind of curious. There was the run of 4 or 5 in a row. There was the run in the 2000s. This obviously could be seen as the continuation in some ways, even though it was 3 or 4 years out. What will you remember about this specific team?
I think specific team about this one is something that has been a tradition for Shelby High School a lot over the years, and that is start slow, couple of losses early. Adam, I think your senior year, y'all were the first one of this group of 9 state championships since you graduated in 2014. But you guys had a rough start to that season, but you finished strong and, of course, won the state championship. And that used to be a hallmark of Coach Taylor's and Coach Norman's, and then I think Coach Ware and now Coach Woodbanks have taken over that. You might get us early, but if you let us hang around, you better watch out, kind of a thing. And the other thing is I got real emotional talking about Malik Surratt the other night in that loss to High Brighton in 2016, 17, 18, when we were going for 5 in a row. Lan has been one of those guys. He has been the starter. He's taken all the hits of, the hits on the field, but also the hits of, man, you couldn't beat Crest, or you couldn't do this, or you couldn't do that, or whatever. And I mean, it's kind of like me talking junk about Watauga, saying that they were going to get beat at some point in the playoffs, and they won the state championship. Lan, I think, gave everybody a big old sip of shut up today with 459 yards and 8 touchdown passes and 2 touchdowns on the ground. So congratulations to him. I think that's probably what I'll take away from it. But I'm glad you brought that up, D-Ray, because I want to go back and give it. I was thinking about it today. I saw somebody give the stat that we were 12-5 in the state championship. Well, first of all, that is wrong. So I'm going to break it down for everybody. Coach Taylor went to 4 state championships, 86, 87, 88, and 97. He was 2-2. He won the first 2, lost the last 2. Coach Norman was 3-2 in state championships. He went to 5. He won in 98. He won in 2005 and 2006. He lost in 04 and 07. So he was 3-2. Coach Ware went 6-0, did not lose. He won 6 state championships, and now Coach Wilbanks is 3-0. So we have gone as a total 14-4 since we joined the NCHSAA in 1978. So just want to clear that up for everybody. We've got Western North Carolina titles times 5 or 6, I think. Yeah. And then, all that kind of good stuff. But obviously what happened today was
a massacre.
That was
big stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing about Land. I don't know how long we were planning on going, so I'll be quick.
No, we're good.
Imagine if for 4 years in your job, whatever your job is, people were talking trash about you, and then you had 48 minutes to prove it, and you threw for the equivalent of 10 touchdowns. I'm like, I mean, it's just kind of like the pressure that kid had on his shoulders going into this game alone. It's like, not that anybody would have said like Land's 4 years was a failure if they'd have lost this game, but I think a lot of people had kind of crowned him as this could be the greatest quarterback in Shelby High history. And for him to go out today with all of that on his shoulders and throw for 8, run for 2, I mean, just as a human, you have to respect the hell out of that. That's all I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think that
20 or 27 for 8.
Yeah, I think for like once you start looking at Shelby High, like the history of quarterbacks, where if it's principals or whatever the case may be, or head coaches, depending on who you ask, man, the 3 people with the hardest job in the school is the principal, the quarterback, and the head coach of the football team. So it's kind of like with like Land, right? It's like Coach Wilbanks alluded to it after the game, man. You can just tell, you can see the emotion on Wilbanks' face because he understands like how much pressure it is on Land and just being the quarterback because, like he said, this senior class was the first class to not kind of be in the state championship game since they've been there. So, they have the pressure of like that first year when they was freshmen and we lost to Burns. And then that next year, I believe, is when we lost to
Reidsville.
You went down to Reidsville, you finally get a rematch, and you lose to Reidsville. And then last year, we get Monroe on our home turf, a rematch of another same situation, and you lose, and it's like, and everybody's been so critical of how Land's been playing, and it's almost like you said, like one thing about Land, and it's a testament to his parents and his family, he never says anything, right? Which a lot of Shelby quarterbacks in the past, they was a lot more vocal about like how they really felt about stuff. Now Land may talk with his friends and do things like that, but like just the pressure, and it's like you said, D-Ray, like he had 48 minutes to shut up people for 4 years. And I mean, oh my God, he went out there and he really posed the question of his last 2 months of football, have we ever seen a quarterback for Shelby High just play so mistake-free? Like, watching them, like it's unbelievable because I always like when I start talking about quarterbacks of Shelby High that I played with and seen, I just got a soft spot for Bat Mike because I always say Bat Mike, if he would have had a spread, I don't think nobody ever would have touched his record. So it's kind of like I don't think nobody's ever.
He'll agree with you on that, Adam.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just think for being a kid, it's kind of like just for being a kid, it's like I don't think nobody's ever gonna be better than that because
I'm with you, Adam. I'm with you.
He did it all, you know what I'm saying? But like, I think Land really posed the question after tonight. Like, you could arguably say that's the greatest state championship performance ever in Shelby High history. Like, now I don't know where you want to rank him.
North Carolina.
Yeah, like I don't know where you want to rank him as far as quarterbacks. I think that's all personal opinions or whatever because you can't really look at stats because if you look at stats, he's above everybody. But I just think like the way this guy has played football the last month or so, man, it was video game like.
Yeah.
Like, and I just think that like, man, he deserves a lot of credit and just a lot of love and respect. And I know like Coach Wilbanks alluded to it as well. Like, it has to be some coaches out there that just need to come get this kid, man. Like, it's kind of heartbreaking to see. Well, so I'm happy he got the state championship because it's kind of heartbreaking to see for him to be like, I don't really know where I'm going to play football at. If that's something he wants to continue to do.
I think
Absolutely.
Webb, you said the pressure of being a Shelby quarterback. I think, and his last 48 minutes going out and just shutting everybody up. I think those 48 minutes he just put together today should be a testament to like the college coaches just around the area of like why haven't you been recruiting me? Like I just did this and just destroyed this team and bits and like sat in the pocket and literally showed every bit of why I should play quarterback at the next level, like a Wingate, like an hour away, like Lenore Ryan, either Gardner Webb, hometown team, 20 minutes away. Like, why haven't you even took a chance on me? And I think him proving that to the world, and not even that, just the surrounding areas of just like I'm in your backyard. Why haven't you took a chance on me? I think that's also what he proved today, and I'm glad he proved that, and I hope that he gets an opportunity because he's a great kid. I saw someone said he had like over a 4.2 GPA. He's showing it in the classroom, and it translates that everything he does off the field, right? It translates on the field, and you saw it today. And he's such a leader. He got the guys on his back every time. I'm on the sidelines every game, so every time after plays, and if they score or if they punt the ball, he always coming to his guys and talking to them and giving feedback. And okay, so if you run this route this way, hey, make sure you break it at that. And it's always constant feedback, never no bickering, arguing. And he's never came off as a vocal guy that's been a butthole as a quarterback. He's come off as a vocal leader who's uplifting his teammates even during the bad times. Because I know a lot of people probably gave him a lot of crap because the first 2 games of the season he didn't beat Kings Mountain to Crest. 2 games the whole county cares about, and for him to stay resilient and for him to stay in the fight and him finally get that breakthrough and get that state championship for Shelby, I mean, it says a lot about his character.
No question about it. Final shots. D-Ray, what you got?
What I was trying to think of something that I didn't get a chance to talk about. I don't know. I mean, you talking about all these colleges that should give Land a call. How about the Indianapolis Colts who about to roll out Phillip Rivers tomorrow, bro? Come on.
Hey man, I believe we're living in the weirdest time of sports, man. Like on the NFL level, you got Phillip Rivers, and it's funny. I seen something on Twitter where they've been saying Phillip Rivers was coaching high school football, and the offense that the coach run, he's been calling it on the high school level with his son. So, and I looked on FanDuel, it's a good money line for the coach to go out there and win.
I know.
And I just
Plus
think it's so
750 or something
crazy
like
that because you just think about it, a guy he's just been coaching high school football, retired for 4 years. He about to walk out there Sunday, and he's been named the starter. It ain't only that they picked him up; he's been named the starter. That he's rolling out there play one.
Yeah, there's probably a good money line that Seattle defense is going to concuss him tomorrow too.
What's his passing yard set at? It can't be over for 150.
Yeah, I think it is 150. Hey. I think that's it. Hey, for real, let me say one thing, though, which is that I'm sure Durham County Memorial Stadium is going to get the call again. Let me hope that my current town, the Bull City, is going to figure something out because they had one concession stand open. My boy Creek Taff was at the game, missed the entire second quarter, which might not seem like much, except the second quarter lasted over an hour. I mean, yeah. They had nobody in the parking lot directing traffic. It was an absolute disaster. So I need somebody from Durham to just send some folks to the stadium. That's my parting shot.
Hey, well, I'll give my
second quarter as well.
I'll give my shout out today. They were calling. All right, so let me explain this story. So Kendrick Raper last week, all of a sudden, statewide publications were referring to him as Kendrick Jawan. Well, Jawan is his middle name.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When they were trying to put his name on the roster on Max Preps, his last name, Raper, is considered a banned word by the program that Max Preps uses. So they would not allow the word Raper to be typed in as his last name. So the Sherman brothers, who do a tremendous job doing everything stat-wise for Shelby, put in Jawan because they didn't have anything else to put in. It wouldn't accept his last name. So we tried to get the information out. Coach Wilbanks mentioned it at the press conference, and apparently they had it right because today when they put up the starting lineups on the screen, it had Kendrick Raper. It had his correct name. But then as soon as he caught his first pass, the guys in the booth were calling him Kendrick Jawan. So I tweeted to both the High School Athletic Association and to WCCB and said, somebody go tell the dudes that the boy's name is Kendrick Raper. And they did. And they fixed it and they got it right. So I don't know if I get any credit for that or not. I probably don't, but I'm not worried about me getting credit. I'm just glad that somebody stuck their head in the press box and told those guys what his name was and that they called him Kendrick Raper the rest of the game instead of Kendrick Jawan.
That's funny because I seen his touchdown against Lincolnton, and the sports
Jawan
page posted it said Kendrick Jawan Raper. I said Shelby High's never put kids' middle names on the roster.
Yeah, well, they
only
didn't call
do
him
that
Raper because they didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
They just called him Kendrick Jawan.
Yeah,
so it's crazy.
I'm sure his mom and dad thank you for that for sure.
You gotta love it. Well, Adam, we appreciate you. We appreciate you joining us tonight. D-Ray, thanks for coming in. I know it's late for you. Appreciate you, brother. And Juice, hey, we had a good time this year. We'll have to run it back again next year.
Agree, man. It's been real. I appreciate you. Take your time out on Friday nights, and you could be doing so much better things to do, but you spend it with me on Friday night, so I appreciate you.
It's all good. Hey, so that's it. Again, the final score today, Shelby, the 3A state champions with a final score of 84-41. Golden Lions getting another ring. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.